that I think you should keep an eye on. We've got Scott Bauer, the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy. That's Prosper Trading Academy, joining us this afternoon. Scott, at the top of the show, first of all, thank you. We took a look at the jobless claims and numbers this week. We've been looking at the Challenger job cut report earlier this morning, the ADP earlier this week, and basically with those two numbers and kind of conflicting results, I guess, or I would imagine that even more so now, the focus is going to shift on over to the big kahuna, the monthly report tomorrow.
It absolutely will be. And certainly some confusion in the numbers that we've seen over the last couple of days. Numbers we got this morning, a little bit better than expected. Again, still a number around 800,000 is just awful. But on the bright side, the continuing claims number was actually down about 125,000, just to over 5 million. Again, I mean, that's a sad number to say that, that's a positive, but it really is moving in the right way. The concerning thing for me, Ben, going into tomorrow's number is what we saw yesterday out of ADP, that they reported that private hiring has contracted for the first time since April. So are we going to see a slowdown now of some of the growth that we've seen over the last 6-8 months or so? That one concerns me. Plus tomorrow's numbers, I think we're going to see a big deviance from what is expected. I don't know which way, but I think the number expected, the non-farm payroll estimate, is just for an add of 50,000 in unemployment to tick up to 6.8%.
Scott, let's talk about a couple individual names that you've got your eye on as well. I wanted to take a look at WBA. Walgreens up after beating top and bottom line estimates and reaffirming their fiscal year 2021 EPS guidance.
Yeah, they did reaffirm. They said they're still going to have some headwinds, due to COVID. But I really think that both WBA and CVS, which I'm going to talk about in a second, could really see a boost going in the maybe not so
from
much
the
this
foot
quarter,
traffic?
but what's that?
From the foot traffic, you're thinking, in terms of some of the vaccines?
Exactly. From the foot traffic picking up, both from hopefully some reopenings, and quite frankly, people are going to be able to go there and get vaccinations, hopefully. And those are the two go-to places, WBA and CVS. So I really think there's upside on both. I happen to like CVS better. Walgreens, nice breakout today. Finally got that move after being, such a dog for so long. CVS is up to a triple top. I think this thing breaks out. It's up a little bit today on the heels of, probably WBA's report. I love CVS from here.
All right, Scott, you taking a look at CVS, at Walgreens, those two kind of fit right into the category. Talk to us about where does Rite Aid stand in all this, ticker symbol RAD?
Yeah, Rite Aid is one I'm not as bullish about. I think, and the big gains that we've seen recently have to be met with quite frankly, some pessimism on my end. Because if you look to this space, it's really WBA and CVS who are the leaders. And those are the two I think are going to benefit most. So Rite Aid is not one that I would want to be long right now.
All right, let's move on because we've got Micron set to report today on the close earnings. A preview we have here. Let's take a look real quick. EPS expected to come in at 71 cents a share. This is expected to be on revenue of 5.73 billion. And well, it looks like Micron, as you can see, if it does come in at 71 cents a share, it'll be just below, or significantly below, I should say, EPS for last quarter, and kind of in the middle of last quarter and last year in terms of earnings.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the earnings outlook are a little bit muted, but analysts are all over this. And analysts are saying there's going to be blowout numbers here, and maybe even looking for the stock to print 100, not on the earnings print, but sooner rather than later. Technically, very bullish here. Stock's up 35% over the last 12 months. The option market is pricing in, Ben, about a 7% move, about a $5 move or so. It's hard to fight this one right now. It really is hard to fight the momentum here.
All right, something to take a look at. Actually, if we just take a second here, because I want to pull up this chart. I want to take a look at ticker symbol MU. And, well, first and foremost, I want to point out the bid activity that we've seen over the last week or so. We're talking from 69 all the way up to 80, Scott. This is a good look at the 30-minute time frame, but let's zoom out a bit here and just take a look at this daily time frame, because off the March lows, you can see they've had quite the run up from 31.13 up into the $80 level. And let's just zoom out here for a second. You can see in terms of the weekly time frame. Wow, down only 2 weeks since that first week of October. That's an impressive move, something to keep an eye on. Scott, in addition to the jobs data tomorrow, there's a lot of focus on the whole political scene that's been playing out in terms of Senate runoffs. And I was talking earlier in the show about how this could impact some individual stocks, some names. What's standing out to you in terms of the Democrats securing the Senate? Do you think it's going to be as a smooth ride as everyone's painting it out to be? I mean, ultimately, it's a 50-50 split still. And I mean, it seems like there's a lot of optimism tied to this one that the Democrats are all going to be on the same page always.
Yeah, and you know, the market doesn't really like that. And the market likes gridlock, quite frankly. So it's a bit surprising to me that we are seeing the rallies that we've seen. But if you look at some of the sectors, like the cannabis sector, this thing has literally taken big time. I'd be a little cautious there. You know, I personally, full disclosure here, heavily invested in that sector with call options. I'm taking some off the table here. That's one that, you know, I think you really have to watch maybe to settle in a little bit.
Yeah, we've been keeping an eye on CGC, some of the other names. CGC on fire, gapped up yesterday and up and through the 28-29 level, posted a new high again for, well, the year and taking out last year's highs, and then all the way up to 32.30 today. They have pulled back a little bit at 30.81, up 2% still. We'll continue to watch these names, the impact from the recent elections, and as the dust settles from everything else that's been playing out, certainly stimulus a major factor as well. Scott, really appreciate you joining us to take a look at a couple names that are on your radar. Preview the jobs report, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to you, Scott. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Bauer is the CEO of Prosper Trading Academy.